Okay, I think we're going to end with this video of the brownie boy. People are getting tired of me knocking him down. They claim that I knocked him down already too much. But we're going to knock him down. This video may take a little longer. We'll finish him off over here, and we'll show what a liar and what this cult is. So now we'll listen to what he has to say.
The Messiah fulfills the mission of Israel. And we see in Isaiah the 42nd chapter that this servant of the Lord is going to bring the knowledge of God to the ends of the earth. The ends of the earth, the distant islands, will long and wait for his teaching. And then amazingly in Isaiah the 49th chapter, it speaks of an individual within the nation who represents the nation. He's called Israel, and yet he has a mission to Israel. And it seems, as you read Isaiah the 49th chapter, that he has failed in his mission. In fact, he says explicitly, I've labored in vain. His mission was to regather the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And he says, I've labored in vain, I've spent my strength for nothing. And God answers him and says, it's a small thing to regather the tribes of Israel. I'm going to make you a light to the nations. So this one who has a mission to bring the knowledge of God to the ends of the earth starts with a mission to his own people, and it seems he fails in that mission. And God says, don't be afraid. You're actually going to be a light to the entire world. And then as you keep reading, you get to the 50th chapter of Isaiah, and it speaks of this servant being smitten and suffering, flogging and beard ripped out, spat upon. And then you get to the end of the 52nd chapter, beginning in verse 13, through the 53rd chapter, through verse 12, the end of that chapter, and the picture continues to unfold about this servant of the Lord, who by now is in clear focus as an individual, this one who fulfills the mission and purpose of Israel, namely to bring the knowledge of God to the ends of the earth. And what does it say about this servant? That he will be highly exalted. And in fact, the words that are used in Hebrew at the end of this passage, Isaiah 52:13 and through 53:12, it begins by saying, Hinei yaskil avdi, behold, my servant will act wisely and will prosper. Yahum v'nisav v'gavah ma'od. And those words that are used will be high, lifted up, highly exalted. Two of those words are used elsewhere in Isaiah, for example, the 2nd chapter, the 6th chapter, but they speak about the Lord. Many of you have read that, the Lord high and lifted up. Here it says that this servant of the Lord will be high and lifted up, to the point that Jewish tradition says he will be higher than Abraham.
We'll first go to the end of what he said, and then we'll backtrack, because we want to show it. He says, high and lifted up, highly exalted. That's only used for God. And therefore, this person, Isaiah, which he always called the Messiah, now he calls him a God. So we'll see if that's true. Okay, here's Isaiah chapter 1. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O words, for the Lord has spoken. Children I have raised and exalted, yet they have rebelled against me. Well, what does it say, the children? The vision of Isaiah concerning Judah and Jerusalem. That means the people of Judah and Jerusalem, the children are the Jews, they've raised and exalted. Oh, isn't that odd? That's the same terminology used in Isaiah 52, raised and exalted. So maybe these Jews are God. And let's even see something further. Yeah. Look what it says over here. The Lord is high above all nation, his glory is above the heavens. In Psalms 113. Now let's look in Deuteronomy, verse 19, chapter 26. And to make thee high above all nations, that he has made in praise in the name and in glory, and that thou mayest be a holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he has spoken. And to make thee high above all the nations. Wow, isn't that odd? High above all the nations, we're just spoken about the Creator. he's going to say, and this is exactly what's going to do to the Jewish people. Are they gods, the Jewish people, brownie boy? Here it says, thus shall the Lord labor in Egypt, and the merchandise of the Sabeans shall go after thee in chains, and they shall fall down unto thee, and they shall make supplications to thee. Surely God is with thee. Here's Isaiah 60, verse 14. And the sons of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call the city of the Lord Zion, the Holy One of Israel. So here we see that they're going to bow down to the children of Israel. If you watch my first video on the brownie boy, he claims that every time that it says Ishtachavu, see, this Ishtachavu, anytime it says Ishtachavu, that means bowing down to the Creator. Okay? So there he goes, brownie boy. Aren't the Jewish people then now the Creator? Because they have the same thing applies to them too. So why don't you say that that's the Jewish people? Huh? But he won't. For the same reason he says the Messiah, because they have the same terminology. All the Jews have the same terminology, so why doesn't he claim that it's the Jews? Because if he says it's the Jews, then he can't worship his false idol god. He mentioned before that he claims that he knows that a priest can die for people's sins, because it says in Numbers chapter 35, it says over here, but if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or hurled upon him anything without lying away to a stone, then the congregation shall judge between the smite and the avenger, and the congregation, the living man shall have the end of the avenger blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of refuge, whither he was fled, and he shall dwell therein until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the holy oil. Nowhere does it say in this chapter that the high priest dies to atone for anybody, for this killing. So he's a liar when he says, see, we need the death of the high priest to atone. Nowhere in this whole chapter 35 does it say anything about atoning, that the high priest dies for atoning. So again, he's a liar. And now we're going to go to Isaiah 53, which they claim is that God. Now, Brownie Boy and all his cult followers claim, if you read this chapter, everyone will see their dead God. But they never say that this chapter starts from over here. Behold, my servant shall prosper. Now I challenge the Brownie Boy and any of his cult members, if they bring this verse to anybody who is not in this satanic cult, and ask them, who is this servant? Behold, my servant shall prosper. And ask them if that's talking about God. Okay? You notice how he said, the exalted one, so that must be a God. That's only talking about God. Okay, but they never do it the opposite way. When is God ever called a servant? They never say a servant is only can be talking about men. Only men are referred to as servants. A man or a woman is referred to as servants. A human being is referring to as servants, not a God. But these blasphemers, they claim that God is a servant. Okay? I challenge the Brownie Boy and his cult members to show me one verse in the whole Jewish Bible where it calls God a servant. Heaven forbid these blasphemers. And they have a nerve to call other people blasphemers. And you notice it says, my servant shall prosper, he shall be exalted and lifted high. These were the same things what said by Israel. Okay? Now how can God be prosper? My servant shall prosper. Okay, these blasphemers say that God will prosper. He'll get wealthy. Even in the satanic book it says that God increases in wisdom. Okay, is it possible to say that about God? Only a blasphemer like this satanic cult can claim that God increases in wisdom. Okay, now we'll go over to what he said, Isaiah 42, 43, whatever he said. Okay, first he said 42. Let's go to 42 and see. Behold my servant who am behold, my elect to whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall make the right to go forth to the nations. Is that possible to say about God, that you put your spirit, that God puts the spirit on God? This guy is a joke. He shall not cry, nor lift, nor cause his voice to be heard in the streets. Okay? Obviously, God is talking, and he's talking about someone else who's not a God. If anyone, I challenge anyone to read this and say that that God is talking about, he's going to send his God, another God, the second God. He shall not fail nor be crushed till he have the right in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his teaching. He shall not fail nor be crushed. The J-boy was crushed and failed before he made it set right on the earth. So how come this talking about the J-boy? Thus said the Lord, he that created the heaven and the earth, and stretching them forth. Okay, so here the Lord is saying he created the heaven and the earth, and not the servant, as these blasphemers claim. Also, Isaiah 49. Listen to this. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye peoples from afar. The Lord has called me from the womb, and from the bowels of my mother has he made mention my name. Okay? Is this talking about saying God is born from a womb? Okay, now, and now the Lord hath formed me from the wombs to bring Jacob back to him, Israel gathered unto him. Yes, I said, I have labored in vain, I have spent my strength for naught. This is what he's talking about. In vanity, yet surely my right is. So he goes, oh, he labored in vain, and he says, he labored in vain, he says, will it be light for him? But he doesn't read it correctly. Look what it says. Yet he had said, it is too light a thing that thou shouldst be my servant to raise up the tribes of Israel and to restore the offspring of Israel. I will also give thee for a light of the nations. That also, not only will this servant be take back the children of Israel to serve God, but he will also get the whole world to serve God. Now, are the Jewish people serving his dead God? I don't think so, Brownie boy. I don't think so. It is too light a thing that thou shouldst be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to destroy the offspring of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the nation. So again, we're repeating it twice to get an emphasis. Okay, so here he's saying that he'll bring the children of Israel. The children of Israel don't worship your J-boy, Brownie boy. So obviously this, according to you, hasn't been fulfilled. So he's not the Messiah, because the Messiah will bring the servants, the children of Israel, and the nations. So your J-boy is not the Messiah. Sorry to inform you. One other thing, you want to know who the servant is? It says in Isaiah 43, okay, read down. All the nations are gathered together, and the people are assembled. Ye are my witnesses, said the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there is no God formed, neither shall any be after me. Okay? We're going to talk about it the next video, or video after that, about actually the next video, me or us. Remember what it says in Genesis? It says, let us make man, and now he says me. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so here it says, here my witnesses, said the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen. So actually the servant is many. It's talking about many people, which can only be talking about the Jewish people. And we'll soon see who these are. Here's chapter 50, and he claims that he was smitten. I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting. For the Lord will help me, therefore have I been confounded. If the J-boy is the Lord, why is his other God helping him? Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know I shall not be ashamed. Okay, behold, the Lord God will help me. Who is he that shall condemn me? Behold, they are also wax. And this is exactly what in 53 says, that the king, that they were smitten. So actually this is for the Jewish people. Who is among you that fears the Lord, obeys the voice of his servant? You notice that the two separate people. Though he walks in the darkness and has no light, let him trust in the name of the Lord. Doesn't say let him trust in the servant. And stay upon his God. Okay? So we refuted the brownie boy, and now we're going to see who is the witnesses and the servant. Okay, here we have Zephaniah chapter 3. What does it say over here? Okay. In that day shall thou not be ashamed for all the doings wherein thou hast transgressed against me, for then I will take away out of the midst of thee exalting ones, and thou shalt no more be whoring the highly nations. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. Remember Isaiah 53? There was no deceit on his mouth. This is talking about the remnant of Israel. Of course, this brownie boy claims that he's a Jew. Of course, when it says, when Isaiah is speaking about the Jewish people, it's not talking about an idol-worshipping mamzer like him. It's talking about the remnant of Israel. So when he says these are one, they're talking as one to the nation. The remnant of Israel will go out to the nations, and they will get them back. Okay, and we're finished with the brownie boy. We're going to come back to him intermittently, but in the next video I'm going to show you that the J boy was not only deceitful, but he was a murderer. We're going to prove it. So we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.